The incredible moment a single mom's heartwarming purchase changed everything for a CEO. The bustling Midwestern town hummed with life as Sarah bounced from one job to the next, her determination as fierce as the autumn wind sweeping through the streets. Every moment was filled with love for her daughter Lily, who lay tucked in bed dreaming of a better tomorrow. Sarah picked up an extra shift at the diner and folded clothes to make up for the rent. Bills piled like autumn leaves, but her spirit stayed unbroken. Each day was a new chapter in her journey, a single mom fighting for a better life. One absolutely ordinary afternoon, Sarah wandered into a local thrift store, seeking not just clothes, but a small spark of joy amid her routine hustle. The sweet scent of old fabric and wooden shelves filled the air. And there it was, a vintage jacket, the deep blue fabric shimmering under the flickering fluorescent lights. She felt an overwhelming wave of nostalgia wash over her as she noticed a faded tag that read U.S. Army. This wasn't just any jacket, it belonged to a beloved local war hero who had fought bravely in battle. She could already see the shining smile on her father's face as she surprised him with it. With the little money she had, she bought the jacket. Her heart raced in anticipation. She imagined her father, a veteran himself, wrapping it around his shoulders and feeling that warmth again, comforting and encouraging, like a hug from his past. Later that evening, when Sarah presented the jacket to him, she experienced a swell of emotion watching his eyes widen, the remnants of sadness giving way to his beaming grin. In that moment, laughter filled their small home. Tears of joy flowed freely as they embraced, the fabric bridging a gap between a daughter's love and a father's memories. As fate would have it, Mark, a high-powered CEO, sat in his office drowning in the noise of his success. The accolades meant little now, especially amid public scrutiny over a recent misstep. He stumbled upon a news article showcasing Sarah's touching gesture with the jacket. The image of her sparkling with joy, honoring her father, struck a chord deep within him. Was there really more to life than climbing to the top? Suddenly, Mark felt a longing for community and connection wash over him like a warm embrace. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. Caught in the storm of his own emotions, Mark found himself reaching out to Sarah. He had to meet her to understand the vibrant spirit that had rejuvenated his view of the world. What had begun as mere appreciation blossomed into a connection that blurred the lines between their worlds. However, societal divides loomed large in their future. As Sarah's story gained traction, igniting inspiration for many, the truth struck hard. Were they truly supposed to exist together? As misunderstandings and preconceived notions threatened their budding friendship, Sarah's fears bubbled to the surface again. The bond formed in kindness now teetered on the edge, leaving readers breathless and yearning to discover if love and understanding could weather these contrasting lives. In the face of uncertainty, Sarah and Mark would have to confront their realities. The question loomed, could a connection forged in kindness withstand the tension of their worlds colliding? The morning sun bathed the town in a golden glow, creating an air of possibility. Sarah stepped outside, the scent of fresh coffee wafting from the diner, filling her with a sense of purpose. She still held the evening's laughter close to her heart. That vintage jacket had sparked something within her, not just for her father, but for herself as well. It reminded her of how small gestures could create ripples of happiness. As she wiped down tables and served regulars, she couldn't shake the feeling of Mark's presence looming over her life. She had read the same article he did, seeing the mounting interest around her story. It was exhilarating and terrifying all at once. She was just a single mom, yet somehow her act of kindness had reached beyond herself. Later that day, while folding napkins and mentally planning dinner, her phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. "Hi, Sarah, it's Mark. I hope this isn't too unexpected." Her heart raced as she stared at the screen. "Can we meet?" She felt a surge of warmth, battling against the doubts creeping in. What could he want? A novel written about her life? A column measuring the worth of her kindness against his corporate successes? Wasn't she just a blip on his radar? With a mix of excitement and anxiety swirling inside her, she replied, "Sure, when and where?" Mark suggested a small coffee shop near the diner. It felt convenient and safe, but could she really expose her reality to someone like him? As she prepared herself for their meeting, memories of those long nights painting her dreams of a better life danced in her thoughts. She pulled on a simple sweater, making sure to hide the worn sleeves. After a last glance in the mirror, she stepped out, resolve firming her stride. The coffee shop buzzed with chatter. In a corner booth, she spotted Mark, looking every bit the part of a CEO, with his tailored suit and focused demeanor. Yet there was a softness in his eyes as they met hers, a glimpse of vulnerability that mirrored her own fears. "Thank you for meeting me," Mark began, his voice steady yet warm. "I've been thinking a lot about the article. It moved me more than I expected." Sarah nodded, unsure how to respond. "I was just doing something small for my dad." Mark leaned in. "Small acts can have large impacts, Sarah. Your kindness reminded me of what's truly important in life. I want to help." Those words hung in the air, heavy with implications. "Help? How do you mean?" Her voice was steady as she considered the weight of his offer. Could she trust a man who walked in the world of corporate success, a world so foreign to her? "I want to start a community initiative," he said, his passion breaking through, an outreach for single parents like you, to provide support, mentorship, opportunities. "I believe we can make a difference together." As he spoke, her fears began to wane. His sincerity seemed genuine. But could she truly believe in him? Could their worlds truly intertwine for the greater good without the weight of expectation crushing their efforts? As the conversation evolved into laughter and shared stories, a spark of something new began to flicker between them. Hope danced alongside fear, urging Sarah onward. "Will you help me make this happen?" Mark asked, his gaze unwavering. Sarah took a deep breath, knowing the choice she faced would alter the course of her life once again. Could she step into this chance to join forces with someone from a completely different world? Would it be a leap of faith, or would it lead her down a dangerous path? The next moment could either bring her closer to her dreams or shatter the fragile balance she had worked so hard to maintain. She had to decide, and time was slipping away. Sarah felt the weight of the decision pressing on her chest as she gazed into Mark's earnest eyes. Would taking this leap mean drafting an entirely new chapter in her life? It was a dilemma, with the scales tipped between her comfort zone and uncharted potential. "Okay," she finally said, her voice catching slightly as she spoke. "I'll help." Mark's smile lit up the dimly lit coffee shop, momentarily chasing away the shadows of her doubts. "Really? That's amazing!" His enthusiasm was contagious, and for a moment, Sarah felt her own heart swell with excitement. But then her mind raced. Could she truly manage this alongside her responsibilities? The daily grind of work, taking care of Sam, and now a shared venture with a man of Mark's standing? Yet the vision he painted began to take root, a community thriving from support, moms and dads lifting each other up. "What's the first step?" she asked, surprising herself with the eagerness in her tone. "I'd like to set up a meeting with a few others," Mark replied. "We can brainstorm ideas and see what resources are available. More voices mean more impact. You have the passion, and I, but can bring some structure. Together, we can make this happen, Sarah." The prospect sent a thrill down her spine. For years, the only plan she had involved making ends meet. Now, maybe, just maybe, she could help build something meaningful, not just for her, but for others like her. They decided to set the date for next week, a week that felt like an eternity away and too close at the same time. As they chatted, Sarah began to glimpse a partnership that could not only help others, but help herself grow in ways she never imagined. She could finally be more than just a waitress. She could be a leader in her community. That night, as she tucked Sam into bed, she imagined how proud he might be to see his mom making a difference. "What do you think, buddy?" she asked as she kissed his forehead. "Do you think I can help other kids like you?" He smiled sleepily. "Yeah, Mom, you're a hero." Those simple words filled her with warmth, and for the first time in a long while, she felt hope blossom in her chest. But as clouds drifted over hopeful skies, doubt crept in. What if things didn't go the way she dreamed? What if Mark was just looking for a story to sell? When the meeting day finally came, Sarah dressed with intention. She wore that vintage jacket again, feeling a mixture of comfort and boldness wrap around her. Time seemed to crawl as she weighed the odds, constantly reminding herself that change was never without risk. As she entered the conference room, anticipation tingled in the air, and she was met with a mixture of skeptical and hopeful faces. The nerves twisted in her stomach, but all of them were there for the same cause. They were all looking for support, and maybe, just maybe, she could be the support they needed. "Thank you for being here," Mark began. Sarah watched as his confidence filled the room. He divided tasks and encouraged them all to share their stories. As each person spoke, Sarah felt a sense of camaraderie form. They were united in a common struggle, and in that moment, she realized she wasn't just a single mom anymore. She was part of something greater. But as the meeting concluded, a hushed murmur of whispers circled a corner of the room, and Sarah caught them discussing an unspoken tension, something about funding and support that left the air heavy. Just as Sarah started to think they might have a real shot at making a difference, she heard the words that made the air in her lungs freeze. "But how are we supposed to trust him? The last thing we need is another corporation taking our stories and running." Who were they talking about? The answer hung unanswered in the air as Sarah's heart raced faster than she'd ever felt before. Could Mark truly be trusted, or was he just the next chapter in a tale? Broken promises? With every heartbeat, uncertainty clawed at her. What lay ahead for her and for the community they sought to uplift? The path ahead opened, but so did the fear of the dark turns it could take. As the question loomed, Sarah realized she had to confront it head on, or risk everything spiraling out of control. Would she be bold enough to stand up and find the truth, whatever it may be? The room was thick with unease, conversations swooping and weaving through the air like a tightening noose. Sarah's heart raced, lines of doubt etching deeper into her mind. It felt as though everyone was waiting for someone to take a stand. She glanced at Mark, whose expression still held a glimmer of confidence, but was now underlined with a hint of concern. "Excuse me," she said, raising her hand involuntarily, feeling as if she were stepping onto a precarious ledge. "Can we clarify what we're discussing?" Her voice quaked slightly, but determination flared within her. This was her moment. The room fell silent, eyes shifting to her. Mark nodded appreciatively, signaling that it was okay for her to continue. "I understand the hesitation, but aren't we here to support one another? If there are concerns about Mark's intentions, shouldn't we ask him directly instead of whispering behind his back?" A few heads nodded, but others remained sullen, reluctant to engage openly. Mark leaned in, sincerity etched on his face. "I get it. Trust doesn't come easy, especially after experiences of being let down." He took a step forward, his voice steady. "I want to build something worthwhile. If you have questions about funding or my background, I'm here to answer them. I don't intend to profit from your stories. I want to amplify them." His words hung there, a fragile thread of honesty weaving through the tension. Sarah sensed the shift. Vulnerability was making its way into the discussion. Finally, someone spoke up, A woman wearing glasses perched on her nose. "What's your end goal, Mark? If this becomes big, what's in it for you?" "I want more than just a project," he confessed, and Sarah felt the weight of those words. "I want to create a legacy, a platform where stories can connect and empower people, not exploit them." His words hung there, a fragile thread of honesty weaving through the tension. Sarah sensed the shift. Vulnerability was making its way into the discussion. Finally, someone spoke up. A woman wearing glasses perched on her nose. "What's your end goal, Mark? If this becomes big, what's in it for you?" "I want more than just a project," he confessed, and Sarah felt the weight of those words. "I want to create a legacy, a platform where stories can connect and empower people, not exploit them. But I can't do this alone. I need your voices, your experiences. You all matter." His passion was infectious, lighting a flicker of hope in the hearts of some, although Sarah could see resisting furrows on others' foreheads. Fighting back her own uncertainty, she leaned deeper. "And if we find that we can't trust you, what happens then?" The room seemed to hold its breath again. Mark's gaze met hers, unwavering. "If that's what you decide, then I'll step away. But I hope it won't come to that. I want to earn your trust by proving I'm not just another corporate suit." The discussion flowed, people sharing painful past experiences tied to failed initiatives. Each revelation knit their fears into a communal fabric that Sarah felt wrapping around them. They were all here for a reason, intertwined by hardships and shared aspirations. Wasn't that what community was about? By the time the conversation transformed from skepticism to solidarity, the cloud of doubt began to clear, leaving a spectrum of hope in its wake. They spoke in earnest about their dreams, the very reasons they wanted this venture to succeed. Counties without resources, kids needing mentorship, families seeking guidance. The ideas poured forth, mingling with laughter and determination. Yet, even as camaraderie blossomed, a sense of vigilance lingered. Trust was a fragile thing, and Sarah felt it shift underfoot like sand. Could Mark live up to his promises? Would this venture truly uplift the community, or was it all sugar-coated words? As the meeting started to draw to a close, a sense of urgency tugged at her, a flicker of the past reminding her how quickly things could spiral into despair. She needed to make the right call before getting in too deep. "Can we set up a way to keep each other accountable?" she suggested, her voice rising above the chatter. "If we're going to do this together, we need to stay transparent." Nods of approval spread like wildfire through the crowd. The meeting ended on a hopeful note, but as Sarah stepped into the crisp evening air, doubts began to collide with the momentum they had built. She looked back at the conference room and knew the fight wasn't over. The real battle lay ahead. Would they be able to stand united when challenges came their way? And more importantly, could she trust Mark with their collective future? Or would she have to unearth the truth hidden beneath his polished facade? The answers loomed, waiting just out of reach. The evening air felt electric as Sarah walked away from the conference room, her mind swimming with thoughts and worries. The vibrant sunset contrasted sharply with the heaviness in her heart. With each step, she replayed the meeting in her mind, especially Mark's passionate plea. He seemed genuine, but the past tugged at her, reminding her of similar promises that had ended in betrayal. The crowd had dispersed, but a few lingering members of the group still stood outside, talking amongst themselves. She could hear snatches of their conversations, words of hope mingling with hesitance. They were all searching for reassurance, for something solid to hold on to. "Hey, Sarah," called out a familiar voice. It was Lucy, one of the participants from the meeting. Her eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. "Can you believe how energized that meeting was? It felt like finally something is happening." Sarah hesitated, glancing at the ground. "Yeah, it did feel different, but do you really think we can trust Mark?" "I mean, he seemed so sincere," Lucy replied, her excitement undeterred. "He wants to make a difference. That's rare, right?" Rare but not impossible, Sarah countered, her heart still heavy. I just think we need to tread carefully. Lucy nodded, a hint of understanding in her expression. You're right, but we can be the ones to hold him accountable. If we stick together, who knows what we can achieve? Their conversation lingered in the air, warmth mingling with the coolness of twilight, providing a sliver of comfort. Yet, as she turned to leave, Sarah felt a twinge of apprehension blooming deep inside. What if they were better off creating a safeguard within the community? Would that mean they truly trusted one another? As night fell, Sarah caught a glimpse of her reflection in a store window. Tired eyes met her gaze, but they sparkled with determination. Fueled by her worries, she made a silent pledge to herself. She wouldn't just be a passive participant, she would actively protect their dream. The next day, she decided to reach out to some of the other group members, organizing a small gathering to discuss their concerns and create a plan. She sent messages, her heart thumping with anticipation mixed with uncertainty. Would anyone be interested, or would they choose to move forward blindly, placing all their faith in Mark? To her surprise, responses flooded in. Count me in. I'm in. Let's do this. Each reply stoked the fire within her. It felt good knowing others shared her concerns and hopes. Together, they could create a framework that upheld their goals while holding Mark accountable. As they met in a quiet corner cafe the following evening, the atmosphere was charged with familiarity and resolve. She could see the familiar faces of those who felt as she did, people ready to stand up for one another. Thank you all for coming, she opened, her heart racing. I think it's crucial for us to establish a clear plan moving forward. We shouldn't just be participants, we need to be partners who demand transparency and respect. The group nodded enthusiastically, their eyes lighting up with purpose. They started brainstorming ideas, each voice growing bolder, echoing with passion. Ideas blossomed, regular check-ins, public forums, maybe even an online platform where they could share updates. Each suggestion added another thread to the fabric of their unity. Yet, amidst the excitement, Sarah felt a nagging feeling in her gut. What if Mark didn't respond well to their newfound assertiveness? What if his true intentions were more self-serving than he had professed? The thought gnawed at her as the night wore on. As they wrapped up their meeting, Sarah caught a glimpse of a notification on her phone. It was a message from Mark. Hey everyone, let's meet up tomorrow to get the ball rolling. I have some exciting news to share. A shiver of apprehension shot through her. Was this news for them, or was it about him? Could their newfound plans withstand the storm of truth that was about to break? And was Mark really the ally he claimed to be, or was there a looming threat hiding beneath his charm? The night deepened, leaving more questions than answers. In the balance, shadows expanding as she prepared for the next step. The air was thick with anticipation as Sarah approached the cafe the next day, her heart a drumbeat against her chest. She arrived early, wanting a moment to collect her thoughts, to prepare for the conversation ahead. The familiar scent of coffee and warm pastries enveloped her, lending a sense of comfort, but she couldn't shake the knot of anxiety tightening in her stomach. One by one, the others filtered in, each wearing expressions that mirrored her tension. Lucy was the last to arrive, a bright smile painted on her face, but even that couldn't conceal the undercurrent of unease swirling in the room. "Are you ready for this?" Lucy whispered, taking a seat next to her. "I guess as ready as I'll ever be," Sarah replied, glancing around at the group. "We can't forget why we're here. We need to stay focused." Just then, Mark strode in, his presence commanding as he took a seat at the head of the table. A confident smile graced his lips, but it didn't reach his eyes. Sarah traded worried glances with the others, wondering if they all felt the same flicker of distrust. "Thanks for making the time to meet, everyone," Mark began, his voice smooth and reassuring. "I've been thinking a lot about our last discussion and the passion you all displayed. It really impressed me. I believe we can create something amazing together." As he spoke, Sarah listened carefully, searching for any slip, any hint of ulterior motives. He continued, outlining a strategic vision that seemed ambitious yet unattainable. He painted a rosy picture of collaboration and shared goals, and for a moment she felt the collective hope in the room grow. But that sense of optimism was fleeting, replaced by her nagging doubts. "Can we trust this vision, Mark?" she interrupted, her voice steadier than she felt. "And more importantly, how do we ensure it serves the entire community, not just your agenda?" Mark's smile faltered slightly, but he quickly regained his composure. "I understand your concerns, Sarah. I just ask for your trust. This is about a new beginning for all of us." Those words echoed, stirring hesitation in her gut. What if his vision was only a facade? But before she could articulate her fears, one of the others, David, piped up. "What are the specific steps we can take to ensure this doesn't become another empty promise?" His question hung in the air like a heavy stone, and murmurs of agreement rippled through the group. "I appreciate your candor," Mark replied, shifting in his seat. "I'm in this for the long haul, but trust is a two-way street, right? I'll need your commitment as well." There was something about his tone, something that made Sarah bristle. Creating trust was not just about commitment, it was about accountability. As they debated back and forth, her thoughts churned with clues buried deep within the conversation. The more Mark spoke, the more he danced around the edges of transparency. With every argument laid out, she sensed the tension rising. Would he bend under the pressure of their demands? Would he walk away at the first sign of accountability? In her heart, she knew what needed to happen. As the meeting progressed, Sarah and the others made a pact to establish clear guidelines. They discussed how to hold each other accountable and the necessity of bringing in external advisors if needed. The energy shifted from doubt to resolve, igniting a fire within them all. But just as the conversation reached a crescendo, Mark cleared his throat, the tension in his eyes shifting into something dark. "I think you all misunderstand what I'm trying to achieve," he said, the easy charm dropping away. "I didn't ask to be your leader for nothing. Things operate differently at the top." A gasp rippled through the group. They had opened a door, but what awaited them on the other side was a reality none had anticipated. Before any of them could respond, Mark stood abruptly. "You'll wish you hadn't pushed back against me," he said, his confident demeanor shifting to one of barely contained irritation. He turned and slammed the door behind him, leaving uncertainty and fear in his wake. Sarah felt the room hold its breath, the gravity of what just happened sinking in. Was this the moment where everything they had worked for started to unravel? And could they find strength to face whatever storm Mark would unleash? As she looked around at the frightened faces of her friends, she realized they might have just uncovered a truth that could fracture everything. There was no turning back now. Would they have the courage to stand firm when the stakes grew even higher? Beneath the weight of impending conflict, a question loomed. How far would they have to go to protect their community? And what line would they cross in the quest for transparency? The silence in the cafe was deafening. Sarah felt the weight of the moment crush down hard, the reality of Mark's threat hanging like an ominous cloud above them. The muted whispers of disbelief echoed in her ears, but she forced herself to focus. Around the table, her friends were processing the shock, sitting rigid, their expressions a mix of concern and determination. "Okay, everyone," she started, her voice breaking the tension. "We can't let fear dictate our next steps. We need to regroup. What we heard today is a warning, and we can't ignore it." Lucy shifted in her seat. "But what can we do? He's not just some guy off the street. He's powerful. He has connections we don't." David nodded. "We have to be smart about this. If Mark has an agenda, we need to find out what it is without putting ourselves in danger." Sarah leaned in, her heartbeat steadying amidst the worry. The first step is to establish a plan. No more discussions in public places, no discussions without all of us present. We need to strategize and protect our voices. The others exchanged glances, a flicker of confidence illuminating their features. Agreed, Lucy said, finding her fire. Together, we can handle this, but we can't go into this blindly. David, Sarah said, you've got a background in research. Can you start digging into Mark's past and his projects? See if he's done something similar before? David nodded, determination sparking in his eyes. I can do that, but we need a secure way to communicate. If he's watching us, he probably is, Lucy interjected, her voice tinged with fear. We need to lay low. Exactly, Sarah affirmed. No emails, no texts. We meet at my house. No one knows where I live. We can even change up the times. The group rallied around her ideas. A sense of unity began to build. They might be facing a daunting opponent, but Sarah felt a flicker of hope ignite within her. Just then, her phone buzzed on the table, a notification. Sarah glanced down to see a message from an unknown number. Her heart raced as she opened it, and a cold chill swept through her. Leave this alone, or consequences will follow, the message read. Panic surged. Mark was watching them. Guys, she whispered urgently, I think we've already been compromised. Tension coiled around the table as every face hardened with resolve. No more hesitation, Sarah declared, raising her voice enough to break through the fear. We have to act. We'll dig deeper, we'll plan, and we'll protect our community. We won't back down. As they all silently nodded in agreement, Sarah took a deep breath, feeling the gravity of their shared resolve settle in her chest. But as she looked around the table, she knew they were stepping into uncharted territory. How far are we willing to go? She thought, a chill running down her spine. Would they maintain their ethics in the face of corruption, or would the line blur under pressure? The stakes were high, and in the echo of her inner turmoil, she realized they were heading toward a confrontation that could fracture everything they held dear. And just as that thought settled in, the door swung open, and Mark stepped back into the cafe, a menacing calm replacing his previous anger. You didn't think I was gone for good, did you? He sneered, his eyes locked onto Sarah's. In that moment, she knew the real battle was just about to begin. Would they confront him now, or risk everything? As the words teetered on the edge of her lips, a question pulsed in her mind. Could they outsmart the very man threatening the safety of their community? Mark's presence sent a shiver down Sarah's spine. He strode to their table, the air thickening with tension. She could feel the room's energy shift, like a balloon stretched too tight, about to burst. In that moment, her mind raced. Was it worth confronting him here, or was it better to act later when they were better prepared? Do you really think you can take me on? Mark's voice dripped with sarcasm, taunting. He leaned against the edge of the table, invading their space. His gaze was piercing, scanning each of her friends with an unsettling familiarity, as if he knew their deepest insecurities. Why are you here, Mark? Lucy asked, her voice shaky. Yet beneath her fear, there was a flicker of defiance. Mark chuckled, a low, mocking sound. Just checking in on my favorite little group. We wouldn't want anyone getting hurt now, would we? He glanced at Sarah with a chilling smile, making it clear he was the puppet master in this silent play. Her heart raced, but she couldn't show weakness. You've made your point. We understand. She forced the words out, hoping to play for time, hoping someone would join her lead and rally behind her. Good. You should consider your next move carefully. He straightened and turned to leave, stopping just shy of the door to glance back. I'll be watching. As the door swung shut behind him, the cafe erupted into murmurs. Sarah swallowed hard, the weight of his threat pressing down even harder. "Did you see the way he looked at us?" David said, breathing heavily as he tried to process what had just happened. "We really are in trouble." "How did he find us?" Lucy whispered, her voice trembling. "I don't know," Sarah admitted, feeling the knot of anxiety tighten in her stomach. "But we need to move fast. If he can track us this easily, we have to change our strategies." "Right, we meet at your place, but we should pick code names or something," David suggested. "We can't be too careful." "No more group texts or calls. I say we stick with in-person meetings only," Sarah added, her voice strong, cutting through the uncertainty that clouded the room. A sense of camaraderie started to form again among her friends. They knew they were facing a foe, but by standing together, they might just have a fighting chance. Suddenly, Sarah's phone buzzed again. Another message, this time from the same unknown number. "You won't be able to hide forever." Panic washed over her like ice water. Time was running out. "Everyone, we'll have to split up for now. I'll send you each a location for our first meeting before the end of the day. Don't use your real names, and no one is to share anything with anyone else." They all nodded, but the uncertainty hung in the air like fog. As they began to disperse, Sarah took a moment to breathe deep, the weight of their situation heavy and all too real. Each step felt like a reminder of the danger lurking just outside their safe bubble. "Be careful," Lucy said, her eyes lingering on Sarah for just a moment longer, as if trying to convey a message wrapped in love and fear. Made her way to the exit, she felt the shadows of doubt cast behind her. But there was no going back. She had to believe in their plan. She had to believe in her strength. Just then, a thought flashed in her mind, igniting a spark of hope. What if they had an ally? Someone inside Mark's world who could help them? What if it was riskier, but what if it brought them closer to exposing his true intentions? The decision loomed heavy, but she knew they couldn't back down now. They had come too far, and with courage, they might just have a chance against the storm ahead. As she stepped out into the brisk air, her heart raced with anticipation for what lay ahead. Would they find the ally they needed, or would Mark's grip tighten even further? Sarah walked briskly down the sidewalk, each step resonating like a heartbeat against the concrete. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows that mirrored the heavier thoughts swirling in her mind. The chill in the air wrapped around her like a cloak, but she pushed through, determined to make a plan. What was she doing? Mark was a shadow, and she was fighting ghosts, yet the flicker of hope persisted. They needed an insider, someone who wouldn't just toe the line, but someone who could bring them the truth. Someone who knew Mark well enough to expose his weaknesses. Her first stop was a small diner a few blocks away, an unassuming place with greasy fries and a coffee machine that never seemed to stop brewing. She'd been there countless times. It was a safe space. Taking a seat in the corner, she settled in, spreading her notes on the table. Thinking back, Sarah recalled Tara, Mark's former right-hand woman. Tara had broken ties with him amid a scandal that made headlines, and Sarah remembered how fiercely Tara had stood against him then. Reaching for her phone, she typed a message, half hopeful and half nervous. Would Tara be willing to help after everything? Before Sarah could second-guess herself, she hit send. The vibrant din of conversations faded into the background as a buzz from her phone pulled her focus. It was a reply. "I need to talk. Meet me at the old park tomorrow." Relief washed over her, but with it came a fresh wave of anxiety. What if it was a trap? "Coffee, or should I say the nectar of the gods?" a voice erupted beside her, jolting her back to reality. It was David, out of breath from darting around the corner. She managed a weak smile, grateful for the comfort of his presence. "Just mapping out our escape plan," she said, a touch of humor in her voice, though the weight behind it was far from amusing. "Escaping from Mark? That's ambitious," he retorted, taking a seat. His eyes scanned her notes, suspicion and curiosity mingling. "So, what's the play?" "I have an idea," she replied, "but it hinges on someone who might be able to help us." "Tara," he paused, brow raised. "Are you sure? She's been through a lot." "I know, but she fought against him once. She might be our best shot." As she spoke, the flicker of hope ignited once again, warming her resolve. Maybe this was the break they needed. David nodded, determination edging into his tone. "Okay, but we need to be careful. Mark is always 2 steps ahead." In that moment, the weight of their predicament felt almost lighter, as if they were sharing a secret strategy. She could feel her heart begin to beat in time with a shared rhythm of courage. Before long, the diner door swung open. A figure stepped in, the diner's ambiance shifting in an instant. Sarah's stomach twisted. Mark? Was he following her? Her breath caught in her throat. But it wasn't him, just a passerby. Sarah let out a sigh of relief, though the feeling was short-lived. She scanned the room, paranoia creeping in as she registered every face, searching for any sign of Mark or his goons. "Relax, he wouldn't have the guts to come in here," David said, sensing her fear. But she couldn't shake the feeling. The atmosphere buzzed with tension, every sound sharp and amplified. "Let's meet Tara tomorrow and see what she has to say," she whispered, as if saying it aloud could make it more real. Just then, her phone chimed again. It was another message, this time from the same unknown number. "You're playing a dangerous game. Stay close to your friends. They won't protect you forever." Panic shot through Sarah once again, her heart thudding in her chest. "What does he want from us?" she murmured in disbelief. David leaned closer, his expression steely. "Whatever it is, we'll face it together, but we need to be ready." Only half listening, Sarah stared at the screen, mind racing. The darkness encircling them felt ever tighter. Would they find the ally they were searching for, or would Mark pull them into his web of control? As the diner bustled around them, she felt the difference between fear and resolve. One was a cage, the other a weapon, and she was ready to fight. But was fighting enough? Would they uncover the truth before it engulfed them all? The next day dawned crisp and bright, yet shadows lingered in Sarah's heart. She stood at the edge of the old park, the place where children once played freely, now a silent witness to her brewing storm. The branches swayed gently, rustling above her, whispering doubts she fought to silence. Her thoughts returned to Tara. Was involving her a fool's errand? She remembered the fierce look in Tara's eyes when she stood up to Mark in the boardroom, the fire in her soul as she walked away from the corruption. A part of Sarah hoped that fire still burned. That hope was briefly snuffed as she saw Tara approach. There she was, not at all draped in the confidence she once displayed, but rather looking worn and hesitant. The years had taken their toll. "Sarah?" Tara greeted, her voice distant, as if she were still standing in a cloud of uncertainty. "Thanks for coming," Sarah replied, motioning for her to sit on the bench, weathered yet sturdy. David stood close by, observing silently but intent. "I wasn't sure if I should," Tara confessed, a shadow of sorrow hanging on her words. "After everything that happened, I assumed you'd want to distance yourselves from me." Sarah shook her head. "You fought for what's right. That is why I reached out. We need your insights into Mark." Tara looked down, fiddling with her hands, uncertainty etched across her face. "Mark is, well, he's dangerous, but I won't let that stop me from trying to help." "We're in deep with him," David chimed in, his voice firm. "We need to expose him and protect our community." Tara's eyes flickered with a spark of defiance. "Then we have to be smart about it. He's always watching. I can help you navigate his world, but you have to promise me that you won't carelessly rush in." "Whatever it takes," Sarah said, determination igniting between them. "We're here for each other." As they shared strategies, gathering testimonies, tracking financial flow, networking with others who had suffered from Mark's corporate dealings, a sense of belonging ran through Sarah. No longer was she just a single mom, she was part of an alliance. The air shifted as Tara's passion surged. We need to gather evidence, catch him off guard. He thinks he's playing everyone, but we can turn the tables. We can form a coalition, a united front. Yes, Sarah said, her mind racing, ideas forming like vivid pictures in her head. We could reach out to other single parents who have been impacted, create a larger community. Exactly, Tara replied, a new sense of hope vibrant in her voice. With momentum on our side, we can demand accountability, transparency, and, dare I say, justice. As they plotted, the shadows lengthened around them, but Sarah felt lighter. They could do this. They could push forward, not just for themselves, but for every parent living under the weight of fear. Suddenly, her phone vibrated violently in her pocket, snapping her from her thoughts. Another message from the unknown number. You will wish you hadn't crossed me. Don't involve anyone else. Fear coiled like a snake in her stomach. He knows, she whispered, voice shaking. Tara leaned closer, urgency painted across her features. We can't stop now, Sarah. We have to push forward, no matter how intimidating it feels. Yes, David said, solidly at her side. We keep going. Together. Together, Sarah echoed, a resolve solidifying in her heart. A chill swept through the park, but her spirits soared, fanned by a flicker of hope and solidarity. Hours melted into plans as they plotted each step carefully, knowing they were dancing on a tightrope. Every member's voice mattered, every story an essential thread. As dusk settled in, the park transformed. The path ahead gleamed with potential, an uncharted territory where they'd fight back. The following week unfolded with a mixture of triumphs and challenges. Sarah and Tara managed to contact others. Slowly, their community blossomed into a united front, families joining hands, sharing tales of Mark's impacts, gathering evidence that would illuminate the truth. Then came the day of the rally. Anyone who wished to stand against Mark's unethical practices gathered at a local community center. Banners waved, rallying cries filled the air, and a sense of empowerment smoothed the wrinkles of despair. Sarah's heart swelled with pride as she shared her story on the mic. We have the right to our voices. We can change our community for the better by putting unity in action. Cheers erupted, shaking the very foundations of what they believed Mark stood for. But crawling in the back of her mind was the growing threat. The tension would soon snap. Mark wouldn't sit idle as their movement gathered force. In the midst of the rally, she spotted familiar faces, turned the corner, and there he stood, leaning casually against the wall, arms crossed, frosted gaze trained on her, a predator watching its prey. The crowd buzzed, mingling excitement and uneasiness. Tara stepped beside her, eyes fierce and ready to confront if needed. He's here, she warned, her tone gritting with determination. As Mark pushed off the wall and began to stride toward them, the crowd surged around Sarah. Would they crumble under pressure or stand firm against intimidation? She gazed into the faces around her. Together, remember. With each step Mark took, the air thickened with defiance. No longer just whispers of fear. We gathered voices clamoring for change. Mark, Sarah called, her voice cutting through the noise, face unwavering. We're not backing down. His smile spread wickedly. Oh, I wouldn't dream of it, he responded smoothly, lingering in the confrontation. But play a dangerous game and be ready for the fallout. The challenge hung taut in the air, trembling with potential. The crowd rallied around her, confidence rising, strength in numbers. Let's show him we're not afraid, Sarah shouted, a fire in her eyes igniting the masses behind her. Together, they were no longer just individuals. They were a community. And as Sarah watched the light of determination in her neighbor's eyes, she knew the fight was worth it. They would face this storm and steer toward clarity, together. And together, they stood tall against the challenge, unwavering. The movement was real, and with that community behind her, Sarah's heart swelled with hope. This was the moment they would reclaim power from those who sought to manipulate it, a beacon guiding them through darkness. The strength to redefine their future began now, and she felt alive with possibility. If you feel this story inspired you like it did me, then take action now. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment with your thoughts and feelings about this ending. Your opinion matters. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this powerful transformation. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait, not even one more second to share. True fans know the importance of keeping this story alive and thriving.